Hello and Bula Vinaka, as we would greet people from where I come from. My name is Esita Tuimanukalou, and I hail from the beautiful islands of Fiji, which is in the South Pacific. One of the most influential people in my life growing up was my grandmother. And I thought that at first she was my mother because we never knew our parents. They lived in the city whilst we lived in the village. But her upbringing has made me the person that I am today. And one of the things that I've always taken with me everywhere I go is the words of her having to say that the sky is the limit, you never give up. And she always taught us never stop believing that there's always a good side to somebody and you have to give them second chances. When I met my husband, I knew that he was serving in the British Armed Forces and that at a certain point in our lives, we needed to go to the UK so that I can be there with him because of his job. The day that I left Fiji for the UK, it was one of the saddest moments because I knew that I wasn't going to be coming back for a long time. And I couldn't stop crying. Because at first, I didn't know what I was going to be expecting when I reached the other side of the world. It was a new beginning. I was excited to see my husband, but sad at the same time. And I could see my mother crying. That made me more sad. And all she said was that go, make a life for yourself, build something, and be happy. The way that I've always, or us Fijians have always carried ourselves is when we go somewhere, we're always carrying that smile because Fiji is known for, us being the most friendliest country in the world. There was a lady that I said, "Oh, hello, how are you? It's a lovely day today." And I did ask for directions to get me to one of the gates. And she said, "You're not from here, are you?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And she said, "It's very obvious. We don't talk to people anyhow." That was the first greeting that I got. And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she said, "Well, it's nice and refreshing to see somebody smiling. And the smile is very genuine. So thank you for making my day." Interestingly enough, my ambition when I was growing up was to become a lawyer. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because one of the triggers of me wanting to become a solicitor or a lawyer that represented women is because I am a victim and survivor of domestic violence myself. I didn't expect that my husband and I were going to separate, let alone divorce. And that was a whole experience in itself because if your husband didn't want to be with you or you were planning to separate, you needed to return to your home country. And so I was given only 10 days with a 6-month-old daughter to sort ourselves out. It was one of the most stressful moments of my life. There comes a point in your life where you think enough is enough and I have to do something. It's either you choose between living, surviving, or enduring all of those nasty things that goes behind closed doors. I chose to live. One of the reasons why I do the work that I'm doing and having to advocate for justice for our Commonwealth veterans, current serving and their families is because I know what it feels like to overstay or not to have a status in a country that is not yours. I've always wanted to visit Birmingham and quite fortunately I've visited Birmingham several times because I have friends there. And you can get a feel of all the different countries just in one small place, and that's what Birmingham is to me. The other communities that I associated with were the Caribbeans because that was the community that we lived in. The one thing that I love about the Caribbean community is that they are go-getters. If they want to get something, they go for it. And they encourage each other, which was one of the things that a lot of my Caribbean girlfriends did to me. They said, go for it. Don't be afraid to work hard for it because in the end, you tend to enjoy the fruits of your labor.